So we have all the possible combinations of inputs and outputs with OR and AND, and we want to use that to change our sleepy and happy states here in this 2-bit chunk of RAM I've pulled out of our theoretical computer. Okay, the rule kind of is, if we're going to use OR and AND, we could just say, hey, if I want to be happy, then I'm going to put the decimal value 1 in here, and that would set this bit and keep this one off. Or I could turn around and say if I want to be sleepy but not happy, then I could push a 2 in here, because that would be a binary 2. I'd have to push a decimal 2 in here, and then the bits would be set to a binary 2. If I want to be both sleepy and happy, I could put a 3 in here as well. And maybe I'll show a little programming. And I'm not expecting in this binary playlist for you to understand programming, but maybe it might help to show that. I don't know. Well, maybe we could do that with the Windows calculator. We'll see. Anyway. If we want to do this with OR and AND, basically we have to take the current value, combine it with a new value, and store the result back to where we got this. So our current value, I'll write our current value out here in green. Our current value is 0, 0, taken straight out of here. And if I want to say we want to be happy, well, what value can I OR 0, 0 with in order to get a result of happy? Pause the video and think about it. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too stressful. If we OR 0, 0 with 0, 1, the result will be, well, 0 or 1 is a 1, and here 0 or 0 is a 0. Okay, and then we would store that back in here, which would set this to a 1 like so. So now we're sleepy and we're happy. Now say we want to change our state. Or we're not sleepy. Sorry, we're not sleepy, but we're happy. Say we want to change our state, our new state, to be sleepy and also happy. All right. Well, what's the current value? The current value, I'll write right here, is 0, 1. All right. And in order to get this result, what do I have to OR or AND this with to give us this result? Well, any idea? Pause the video. Think about it. Okay, hopefully you came up with the fact we're going to OR this with this and this. So 1 or 1, well, since they're both set with an OR, that gives me a 1. All right, and then 0 or 1, well, that gives us a 1 as well. And then I can store the result over here. And I may think, Jamie, why don't we just put this result directly in here? Well, in programming you would. But the mental exercise I'm trying to take you through is, hey, what if we had to do OR and AND? How would we do that? So you see that. Now, you may think, Jamie, you could also put a 0 here and do an OR, and that would give you the same result. And yes, it would. 1 or 0 is a 1, and 0 or 1 is a 1 as well. So both of those work, and let's just store that back in here. Here's our 1 like so. Okay, well, say we want to remain sleepy, but for some reason we want to switch to depressed. Okay, we no longer want to be happy. So our target state for these 2 bits is 1, 0. And our current state, I'll write right here, is 1, 1. How can I change 1, 1? What could I OR or AND it with? Or AND it with? That's kind of hard to say. How about or AND it? Nah, whatever. AND it or OR it. What can I combine these bits using an OR and an AND? With what? Oh man, I just lost my train of thought. Here we go. This is our current state. I want to get to this state. What are we going to do? Pause the video, think about it. Okay, hopefully pretty straightforward. I want to do a 1 here and a 0 here, but instead of doing an OR like we did previously, we want to do an AND. I'll even write it this time. We want to AND. That's an A, and here's an A and D. So 1 and 0. That'll give us a 0 because they both have to be turned on in order to get a turned on value. And 1 and 1, well, those are both set, so that gives us a 1, 0, which is the target value we're trying to get. So I'll go ahead and write that right here in our theoretical computer memory. Okay, and did I just do that? I just wrote a 1. Maybe I need to go to lunch. Who knows? Okay, 1, 0. Sorry. Okay. Say we want to completely reverse our current state. Okay, we want to go, we want to set it to a 0 and a 1. That's our target value now. We want to be happy, and we no longer want to be sleepy. Okay, how would we, what would we combine this value with or actually our current value, 1, 0. Here's our current value. What would I combine our current value with in order to get this new value? Using or and AND. Pause the video and think about it. Well, we got a slight issue, because you may think, I want to set this bit, so we'll put this, I'll just go change color here, we'll put this to a 1, and then I want to turn this bit off, so we'll put it to a 0. Well, if I OR this, 0 or 1 is 1, and 1 or 0 is 1. That didn't work out. The OR didn't work out. Well, is there a different value we could use down here to get our target result? Well, what if we did I don't know, 1. Now we had a 1 right here. That worked out. Okay, 0, 1, 0 or 1 is... Oh, but look at this, 1 or 1. Well, that just made it worse. That's like mega turn on. And that's not our target value. We want this value. So, what are we going to do? Well, let's try AND. Let's try doing some values with AND. What would we AND it with? Pause the video and think about it if that would help you. I know I want to turn this one off, and if I AND it with a 0, well, 1 and 0 will give me a 0. Good. But then I will need to turn this one on. Oh, well, if I put a 1 here, 0 and 1, that will give me a 0. And even worse yet, if I put a 0 there, well, that's like mega 0 with an AND operation. That didn't... Oh, what are we gonna do? Well, it turns out neither OR nor AND are going to work. Basically, if I take our current value, I know I'm kind of drawing all over the screen here a little bit. Let me get this off. This is our target value right here, and our current value is 1, 0. So how am I gonna basically flip this bit and flip this bit at the same time? There's actually 2 ways to do it, but this video is about OR and AND, so let me show you how to do it with OR and AND, and then the next video I'll show you a different little trick. First thing we got to do is do an OR, and then we have to do an AND. Okay, or we could do an AND and an OR. Pick your poison. Doesn't matter the order. So let me clear this off. I'm just going to keep this here as our target value. Our current value is 1, 0. So 1, 0. And let's first OR it with 0, 1. I could do 1, 1. Same thing, but let's do an OR. So 0 or 1, 1. 1 or 0 or 1 or anything in here would be a 1 as well. So there we go. We just did an OR. And just to keep track of what we did, I'm going to do an OR here. So now we have the happy bit turned on, which is great. I wanted the happy bit, but I need to turn off the sleepy bit. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do that with an AND. And what value are we going to have to AND it with? Well, 0, 1. All right, let me put our AND here. Okay, 1 and 0. Well, hopefully that's pretty straightforward. They need to both be turned on to be turned on with an AND. So 1 and 0 is 0. Let me fix that. That's 0. And then 1 and 1, well, that's a 1. All right, which is our target value. Very cool. Very cool. And we can store that back in our computer memory. Anyway, next video, I'm going to show you another way to flip both the bits at the same time instead of having to use a separate OR and a separate AND.